outdoor track and field with the men here. This is Owen Dawson, one of our middle distance runners, and Joe Kovacs, one of our throwers. Little different situation here than with the last group. These guys had both exhausted their indoor eligibility, but they have outdoor seasons remaining. So they'll be able to give you a little bit of an idea of what's going on during the outdoor season. Obviously, we have Big Tens coming up indoors in the next week and a half here, and then these two are also going to be competing at the USA Indoor Championships, which are in Albuquerque the same weekend as Big Tens. So a little bit of a different situation with these guys.
Coach, one final question on the indoor front. You've talked about for years having both championships at one place. What is that going to mean to you this year to have your whole staff in one place for the championship?
It's going to be, we're really excited. It's going to be awesome. It's funny, we've been in staff meetings the last couple of weeks and we haven't had to have the discussions of who's going where and how is this going to work with who's coaching whom and who can cover coaching the other athletes. And so it's really been a big stress off of our staff's, yearly kind of drain of us, and I'm certain it's that way for a lot of schools within the Big Ten. And it also really has changed the element of the competition. The day isn't much longer, but the time in between events is much different. So it's opened up a lot of double possibilities and using our athletes in different events in a different way than when it was a single gender. I also am really excited because our teams do well together. We practice together, we compete all year together, and so having not only the men trying to vie for their championship and the women trying to vie for their championship, it's happening together again, and I think that really spirals off of each other, especially in an indoor setting where it's so tight and controlled inside. So we're looking forward to that. It's an inaugural Big Ten, and we're excited about making some noise in that too, and seeing how we can do not only as a combined setting, but with the new Cornhuskers in there as well.
For Joe, I know we talk about your preparation right now for the outdoor season. Has this winter been a little bit unique and you haven't been competing in it like years past?
It definitely has been unique. From my standpoint, and probably Owen's as well, I kind of feel blessed because we went for the entire last 4 years, and now I've almost been competing as a post-collegiate. That feels like it. And now going to the outdoor season, I'm going to get my jersey back. And I'm really looking forward to that. For the indoor season, I was able to train really hard. I was able to work on a lot of things, so I'm really excited to get back out there. I'm excited for USA's next week, and I think we can do some things as a team. And especially us being seniors, we're not going to the indoor championships, but we've been to 4 of them. So we can really give advice to the young freshmen and let them know what things are going to be like.
Yeah, kind of like what Joe said. We've just been training hard. A little separate from the team, I guess, competing with a different jersey. So once outdoor comes, that'll be pretty great to be back with the team, working out with those guys, going to meets with them, and really bringing the whole team together.
For all three of you, what are your expectations for the men's team this outdoor season?
Well, I think I'll start that off. I'm very excited for it. Bringing these two back into the point scoring opportunities is going to be huge for us. And so we're excited to add them back in. I think we're a very strong team. As we move into next week even, we're looking very good. But we throw these guys back in and a couple extra events outside. I think our squad is going to be very strong. Big Ten-wise, I'll throw this in here too. Currently, we're ranked 17th in the country right now on the men's side going into this championship time of the indoor, and I think you'll see that step up in the outdoor season as well. And so when you get these marks thrown in, and so there's no question these guys have been focused on trying to get to the top of the Big Ten and trying to crack into the top 10 in the country. And I think those goals aren't going to change for this outdoor season either. Now, won't be that easy. It's one thing's a goal, another thing's an accomplishment, and so we've got a tough road ahead of us with a lot of great competitors. But this has been a switch of a year in terms of the men's team has understood and really taken to heart what it's going to take to be champions, and I think we've gotten closer and closer. Whew, that's kind of like an omen.
Kind of exactly what Coach said. It's definitely a different year, and I think being here for my 5th year, I understand where we were 5 years ago, and I understand where we are now. As a team, we are way more prepared. We're way more stacked. We have a group of young kids on our team that they're just great. They're awesome. They're coming out having huge marks. Already we didn't have that as a freshman. I mean, we had some, but there are some people who are prepared. They're prepared to go into championships, and I'm looking forward to having everybody in the outdoor season competing well at a conference championship and the national championship. I know that we've, in years past, been really, really close, and some people dropped the ball. Some of us personally has dropped the ball at some big meets. And I think because everybody's prepared, we can bring a lot more experience to when we go to these meets and see if we can really put something together, because we know it's there.
Yeah, this team with the new talent and some of the guys that have been around the block a few times, this is the kind of team as a fifth year you want to come back to. This is a team I've been waiting to be on for 5 years. We got a bunch of new guys that are really, really good, guys that know how to handle the stress of conference and big-time competition. So it'll be really fun to get out there and put it all together.
Take it back to the indoor season for a second. Obviously, the Big Ten Championship's coming up next week. What are your, for Coach, what are the men's odds going into the championships as far as finish and performance?
That's good. That's a great question. I wish I could give you a straight answer, and to be honest with you, it's a difficult one to figure it out this year. Nebraska honestly is throwing a big loop into it. They're a phenomenal team. They've got some very interesting athletes, and they're able to do a lot with the athletes they have, plus the benefit of hosting. So if any team scares me on the men's side, it's probably Nebraska the most for the championship. You've got defending champs of Minnesota, outdoor champs of Iowa. You've got the national champs in cross country of Wisconsin. And then you've got Penn State just, fighting and fighting and fighting. And I think when it comes down to it, those are going to be the players. And depending upon how well we pull the trigger is where we're going to land. It's a great opportunity to be in that spot. As Joe said and Owen said, he's been waiting for a team like this. It's been a long time coming to know that we're players. We know when we walk into the field house in Lincoln, I got to get used to saying that, that we're going to have a chance to play for a top finish. It really is a reassuring feeling. And now it's just a matter of how well we can actually pull that off. And that's part of being a championship team, how well you can pull something off. So I'm intrigued by this one. I'm excited for it. I feel very confident in our lineup. We just kind of went through our entries and our roster this morning in staff meeting, and I feel like we're going to put together a very exciting team, and it just all really depends on how well we pull the trigger.
Joe and I will for sure be checking the results from Albuquerque, New Mexico.
Yeah, and just to put a plug in on these guys, they're both have really utilized this indoor season very, very well in their prospective events. Both of them having some. Was that an indoor PR?
Close.
Yeah, right on
Best
your
opening,
PR,
so.
and definitely having a couple PRs indoors for Owen have put them in a spot where they can compete at our USA Championships, which outdoor turns into our Olympic trials this summer. So they're going and representing there and doing that. It's a kind of a first step of that post-collegiate feel, and yet competing against America's best outside of the collegiate system. So very proud of them for putting together the seasons they've had and preparing for the outdoor season, and a reward to being able to compete at the championships. And so check those results too, because you could, hey, I won't say, anything can happen. That's what I'll say. Anything can happen over there too.
I'll ask one more question real quick. One of the guys that's had his name in the news a lot lately is freshman Robbie Crease, just recently breaking the 4-minute mile. What's it like to have a freshman like that, just kind of come in and just make all kinds of headlines, all kinds of big performances? It's both from a coaching standpoint and from someone who's training in his event group. What's it like to have that on a day-to-day basis?
It's great to have a guy to train like that with. It elevates everyone's performance because everyone's going for that. And he takes it well, doesn't have a big head, doesn't, think he's better than anyone. He's just a great guy, comes in, works hard, and does all the right things.
From a coaching perspective, he's just been a completely pleasant surprise. You know, we, as you probably all know, his high school career was not stellar. It was solid. It was good. It was recruitable. We were excited to get him, but no way did we paint the picture he'd be a sub 4-minute miler in his freshman year. And at the same time, it isn't that surprising. Robbie brings a lot of things to the table. He's a quick learner. He's not stubborn at all. He's very pliable and coachable. And he's actually got a great combination of being somewhat methodical and going and doing and executing, but an emotional reaction to things. And when you apply that to great emotion in competition, it's going to take you great places. And so he's, as Owen said, he's been a great teammate. He's truly, I think, what represents a Penn State student athlete. He's humble, he's excitable, he's intelligent, and he's willing. He's willing to take risk, and that's what it is, you know. And so, very excited about it. You know, it's always something that you just roll with as when they're young. These guys have been around the block. You get used to what to expect, but with the freshmen, you just kind of roll with it and stay excited, and you know, really feel very lucky to have someone like that on the team.
Thank you.